What if you could effortlessly improve your social intelligence, become genuinely influential, and sharpen your leadership skills? There's a book written over 80 years ago that remains one of the most effective guides on human relations ever created. It's called by Dale Carnegie, and its wisdom is so timeless that it's still one of the best-selling books in the world. How to Win Friends and Influence People. In this video, we're going to unpack every single chapter, giving you the core of its powerful message. By the end, you'll have all the key insights as if you'd read it cover to cover. Fundamental techniques in handling people. Don't criticize, condemn, or complain. People don't criticize themselves, no matter how wrong they may be. Remember, we are creatures of emotion, driven by ego and pride. Criticism almost always forces people onto the defensive, making them rationalize their actions rather than learn from them. It hurts a person's sense of importance and can create resentment that lasts a lifetime. Consider the story of the famous test pilot, Bob Hoover. After an air show, both engines on his propeller plane suddenly cut out. Through incredible skill, he landed the plane, saving everyone on board, but the aircraft was severely damaged. The cause? The plane had been accidentally filled with the wrong fuel. Hoover saw the young mechanic who made the mistake, who was in tears expecting an explosion of anger. But Hoover didn't yell or criticize him. Instead, he put his arm around the young man and said that to prove his faith in him, he wanted that same mechanic to service his plane the very next day. Hoover understood a simple truth. Criticism doesn't work. As psychologist B.F. Skinner discovered, reward is a far more effective teacher than punishment. Anyone can criticize. It takes true character to understand and forgive. Give honest and sincere appreciation. One of the deepest drivers of human behavior is the desire to feel important and appreciated. We all crave approval and praise. It's what motivates us to achieve incredible things. You don't need grand gestures. Simple phrases like "thank you" can work wonders as long as the praise is honest and sincere. Phony flattery is easy to see through. Instead, take a moment to focus on the other person's good qualities. As Ralph Waldo Emerson said, every person is superior in some way, meaning there's always something to learn from and appreciate in them. The next time you encounter a tired, underappreciated service worker, brighten their day with a spark of genuine appreciation. You'll be amazed at how positively people respond when their hunger for recognition is fed. Appeal to the other person's interest. You might love cheesecake, but when you go fishing, you don't put cheesecake on the hook. You use what the fish wants, a worm. Why do we treat people any differently? The only way to influence people is to talk about what they want and show them how to get it. Before you speak, pause and ask yourself, what can the other person get out of this? The world is full of self-seeking individuals. The rare person who unselfishly tries to serve others has an enormous advantage. 6 ways to make people like you. Become genuinely interested in other people. Who is universally loved? A dog. Why? Because they are always genuinely excited to see you, making you feel like the most important person in their world. We are all drawn to people who admire us. But remember, people are not interested in you or me. They are interested in themselves. When you see a group photo, whose face do you look for first? You can make more friends by being interested in them than by trying to get them interested in you. Ask people about their lives, their goals, and their problems. Go out of your way to connect, especially with those who might feel overlooked. Smile. A smile is a powerful message. It says, "I like you. You make me happy. I'm glad to see you." A New York stockbroker, once a notorious grouch, decided to try an experiment. He committed to smiling more. He smiled at his wife, doorman, the cashier, and his colleagues. The result? People started smiling back. He reported more happiness in the first 2 months than in the entire previous year, and found that at work, complaints were easier to handle, leading to more revenue. He became a richer, happier man. If you want to be instantly likable, show people you're happy to see them with a genuine smile. Remember their name. A person's name is, to them, the sweetest and most important sound in any language. It's their identity. Forgetting it suggests you don't care enough to get it right. When you meet someone new, make a conscious effort to catch their name. Repeat it back to them. Nice to meet you, Tom. This not only helps you remember it, but also makes the other person feel seen and connected. If you have trouble, ask for it to be repeated or even spelled out. Then, make a mental connection to help you recall it later. Be a good listener. Encourage others to talk about themselves. To a person, their own life is the most important life in the world. Their headache means more to them than a famine that kills 1 million people. Most people in a conversation are so busy thinking about what they'll say next that they barely listen. Truly listening means giving someone your full, undivided attention. Once the author attended a party and listened for hours to a botanist, captivated. Later, the botanist told the host what a fascinating conversationalist the author was, even though the author had barely said a word. He had simply been a good, interested listener. Talk in terms of the other person's interest. This builds on an earlier principle. To get someone's enthusiastic attention, you must talk about what they care about. Before meeting someone, do a little research on their interests. For instance, if I wanted you to subscribe to this channel, it wouldn't be very effective to say, "Please subscribe, I have a target to hit." You probably don't care about my targets. But if I provide you with valuable information that contributes to your personal growth, and then ask you to subscribe to see more videos that will benefit you, there's a much bigger chance you'll do it. I'm focusing on the benefits you will get. Make the other person feel important, and do it sincerely. Almost everyone you meet feels superior to you in some way. In a subtle way, let them know that you recognize their importance. Offer praise without wanting anything in return, simply to lift them up and radiate positivity. How to win people to your way of thinking. So, praise is great, but what happens when you disagree with someone? The only way to get the best of an argument is to avoid it. Arguing is a no-win situation. Side start. If you lose, you lose. If you win, you've hurt the other person's pride and they will resent you for it. You haven't truly won them over. 9 times out of 10, arguing only makes the other person more entrenched in their position. When a disagreement starts, distrust your first defensive instinct. Control your temper, listen to your opponent's points without protest, and promise to examine their thoughts. Start by finding areas of agreement to reduce their defensiveness. Begin in a friendly way. A drop of honey catches more flies than a gallon of gall. You can't force someone to agree with you, but you can lead them with friendliness. One man facing a rent increase from a tough landlord didn't complain. Instead, he began by talking about how much he appreciated the apartment and how well the landlord ran the building. He then explained he'd love to stay but simply couldn't afford the new price. Show respect for the other person's opinions. Never say, "You're wrong." When you tell someone they're wrong, you're essentially saying, "I'm smarter than you." This is a direct attack on their pride, and they will defend their opinion to the death. We form our beliefs carelessly, but we defend them with an irrational passion when they are challenged. A positive and respectful approach will disarm them, allowing them to admit a mistake freely. If you are wrong, admit it. Quickly and emphatically. When you know you're at fault, admitting it enthusiastically can produce surprisingly positive results. When you admit your guilt, the other person, who was seeking a feeling of importance by criticizing you, now has to show generosity by forgiving you to maintain that feeling. It's far more enjoyable than defending yourself when you know the other person has you cornered. Let the other person do a great deal of the talking. Someone who disagrees with you won't listen while they are bursting to express their own ideas. Encourage them to speak fully. Resist the temptation to interrupt. It's costly. Each time you interrupt, they feel unheard and have to start over. Let them empty their bottle of thoughts before you try to pour yours in. Honestly, try to see things from the other person's point of view. If you had your partner's body, mind, and experiences, you would arrive at the same conclusions. Try to see the world through their lens. This will not only help you understand them, but will also help you discover their interests and frame your arguments more effectively. For example, instead of seeing a job interview as a meeting to solve your problem, getting a job, see it as a meeting to solve their problem, finding the right candidate. Focus on how you can solve their problems and your own will be solved as well. Be sympathetic to the other person's ideas and desires. Anyone who is upset feels completely justified in their anger. They are hungry for sympathy. If you can acknowledge their feelings and show them you understand, they will be more likely to appreciate your side and come around to your way of thinking. Start with questions to which the other person will answer yes. Don't begin a conversation by highlighting the areas where you disagree. Instead, start with what you both agree on. Get the person into a yes mindset. This Socratic method guides them toward your conclusion through a series of logical questions. But be careful, it can feel like a trap if you're not genuine. If you say, "You like saving time, right? And you like saving money, right? Well, buy my product," you'll likely turn them off. Let the other person feel that the idea is his or hers. People value their own ideas far more than those handed to them. Executing their own idea gives them a sense of control and importance. If you're at a stalemate in a negotiation, try saying, "You're the expert here. What's your opinion on how we can solve this?" This shifts the dynamic from opponent to mentor. When they offer a solution and you accept it, they will be far more engaged in its success because it was their idea. Appeal to the nobler motive. People usually have two reasons for doing something, the real reason and the one that sounds good. Appeal to their highest moral principles. If someone is breaking an agreement, for example, tell them that your impression of them was one of high integrity and that you still believe they are a person of their word. This gives them a noble reputation to live up to, which they will be hesitant to lose. Dramatize your ideas. Merely stating a truth isn't enough. You have to make it vivid, interesting, and dramatic. Attention is a scarce resource. Steve Jobs didn't introduce the iPod by talking about gigabytes. He called it 1,000 songs in your pocket. When the author of the summary was an intern, he didn't present a list of boring tasks he completed. He started his presentation by saying his internship saved the company $13,000. Suddenly, every manager in the room was listening intently. Throw down a challenge. When nothing else works, organize a competition. The desire to excel and prove one's worth is a powerful human driver. If someone is hesitant, subtly question their strength. I don't blame you for being scared. It's a tough job. It'll take a big person to handle it. Be a leader. How to change people without giving offense. The final part of the book is about how to guide people to change without arousing resentment. Begin with praise and honest appreciation. It's always easier to hear unpleasant things after we've heard praise about our good points. But avoid formal, robotic praise. Be sincere and specific. This is especially effective if the person already knows you have an issue with their work, as genuine appreciation will be a pleasant surprise that makes them receptive to your feedback. Call attention to people's mistakes indirectly. Avoid direct attacks. Instead of connecting your praise and criticism with the word "but," which negates everything that came before it, use the word "and." Don't say, "You've done an excellent job, but you could have prevented these careless mistakes." Do say, "You've done an excellent job, and if you focus on building a checklist, you'll improve your accuracy even more." Talk about your own mistakes before criticizing the other person. Admitting your own faults first shows that you understand the task is difficult. It implicitly encourages the other person to rise to your level. The author used this when interviewing nervous students for an internship. He would start by telling his own embarrassing interview story, which made the students laugh, relax, and feel comfortable, knowing that we all make mistakes. Ask questions instead of giving direct orders. Asking questions allows the other person to reach their own conclusions. gives them a sense of control and stimulates their creativity. What do you think of this? Do you think that would work? Can we think of different ways to do it? Let the other person save face. Never bulldoze someone's importance or pride, or they will resent you. When an employee makes an error, a good manager might thank them for their work, express faith in their ability, and state that such errors are not unusual for a project, thus preserving the employee's dignity while still addressing the issue. Praise the slightest improvement and every improvement. Praising every step of progress inspires a person to keep improving. Be specific with your praise. Single out a particular accomplishment instead of offering general flattery. This makes it feel more sincere. One summary author used this principle with a colleague in India who was known for being lazy. Instead of complaining, he started praising every small, positive thing the colleague did. After a few weeks, the man became a completely different, proactive, and friendly person. Not just to him, but to everyone. Give the person a fine reputation to live up to. If you want to improve a trait in someone, act as though that trait is already one of their outstanding characteristics. If you tell someone they are known for being trustworthy and able to keep a secret, they will be very careful not to lose that valuable reputation, even if they weren't that way before. Chapter 8. Make the fault seem easy to correct. If you tell someone they lack talent, you kill their hope and motivation. Instead, tell them they have a natural ability but just need more practice. A dance instructor shouldn't tell a student they are a bad dancer. They should say, "You have a natural sense of rhythm. You're a natural-born dancer." Make the person happy about doing the thing you suggest. This is about aligning your request with their interests. To avoid seeming manipulative, you can acknowledge your own interests up front and then discuss the benefits you can both enjoy from the action. And that is the timeless wisdom of how to win friends and influence people. If you found this video helpful, please give it a like and subscribe to the channel. It keeps me motivated to create more videos for you every single week. Thanks for watching and have a great day.